Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle from Jane. I'm with our US support team. So if you're from the States, you may have done a demo with me, or we may have spoken over the phone or email. I just hit my 1 year with Jane 2 days ago, actually. And during my time here, I've really grown a passion for supporting our aesthetics clinics. So I'm really excited to be doing this webinar with you all today. So thank you so much for joining.
And hi, everybody. My name is Jeanine Harrison. I'm a nurse practitioner in Ontario, Canada, and I am the director of 321 Launch Medical Aesthetics Business Consulting. And I have been using Jane for a very long time, and I have also helped to develop other software in my area of practice previous to medical aesthetics and cardiology. And when I discovered Jane, I actually could not believe how incorporated it was and how easy it was to use. So wonderful to be here, and looking forward to giving you some tips and tricks. So one of the things that I think that Jane offers for us as clinicians and practitioners in this area of practice is that administrative part of your healthcare business, organized, complete, and most importantly, legally viable. So what we did was we tried to make it easy to, sort of digest it all. So we've divided it into workflow pillars, 1, 2, 3, and 4 under planning, scheduling, billing, and reporting. And we're going to go into some detail here. So needs assessment first. So this is where we're going to do 3 things. We're going to create a list of all the things that we need. And I'm going to go into a little more detail on what we mean by creating lists, because this is super important. So I call it data collection. It's all the things that you're going to need to be able to set up your Jane the way that you want it for your practice. And so these are things like determining how many clinics you're going to have. If you have multiple clinics and you want to layer them all into Jane, you can do that, but you want to start with those lists and then all the list of staffs. So you're going to put down all the staff within each clinic and get those things all together. The list of all your treatments you're going to offer, even some of the treatments that you might be bringing on in the next, say, 6 to 8 months. Get those all listed out, and they may be different clinic to clinic. And then list your forms, the ones that you're going to be searching for, the ones that you need to have. Maybe you have them in hard copy, but make a list of all those forms so you have it tangibly, like medical health assessment, the ACEs form, which is our form for risk, any testing that you're going to be doing, and then consents, of course, we all know about our consents, and then post-care sheets that you might be wanting to have in their chart for them. And then the last thing is all of your products and cost sheets. Get those all collected well in advance. So now we're going to do the good stuff. We're going to gather that content, plan it out, and build it. So review and select the chart templates that you want. So no sense reinventing the wheel. You may have some templates, but also Jane offers these templates. So somebody else has created it and they've put it out on their template library, and also consents and forms and wordings and things like that that you may be able to pull in. And Michelle's going to show you how to do that inside the template library inside Jane.
All right. So first, we're going to take a look at the main 2 places in Jane where you're going to be managing your templates and intake form information. Being able to have these forms sent automatically when a booking is made is a really great way that Jane works for you. Also, being able to use, like Jeanine said, those pre-made templates from the library is a really quick and easy way to get those forms set up. So the first page that we're going to go to is our staff page. So right in the top left-hand menu here, I'm just clicking on staff, and I'm going to go to my demo owner profile. Underneath my name, you can see the blue hyperlink. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to click templates. And then from here, I'm going to choose template library. So I just click that left-hand or on the right-hand side there. Once we're in this pop-up, we can either choose the discipline that we want to search for, or we can use the search bar at the top to look for a keyword, like maybe, for instance, Botox. So that's going to bring up all those. Or if we know someone that maybe has shared some forms, we can search their name to see if they've shared anything. So as you can see, Jeanine here has some forms that she has shared as well. but I just want to find an aesthetics form that is labeled intake. I'm going to use the second one from the top here. So once I click on it, I'm going to see a preview on the right-hand side with an add button. So once I click that add button, that skincare and medical history intake is now in my templates page. So the next place we're going to go is our settings. So again, just up in the top left-hand corner here. And then on the left-hand side, I'm going to scroll down to our forms and surveys. And then I'm going to click on the view forms button. All right, so we already have some forms that have been made, and I've gone ahead and already started one, but I just want to demonstrate how I can pull that template over that I just saved on my staff page to one of these forms. So if I just click on edit for the medical history intake, I'm just going to go right to my questionnaires tab. So I already set this stuff up first, but I just want to show under questionnaires how I'm going to pull that template in. So from here, we have two ways that we can do that. I can hit this button on the left, or I can click my add item button. Once I click that, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find that skincare and medical history intake. Once I've clicked on that, that brought that whole template in over for me without me even having to customize anything. Once I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and save that intake form. So that is all ready for me to use for one of my clients. And again, this is going to automatically be sent with a booking if I set it that way. Another way that you can use the intake forms page is having forms set up as just a consent. So not asking for any questionnaires to be filled out, but just asking for consent. So this neuromodulator consent that I've set up, when I click on the edit button and I view our questionnaires tab at the top, I've just left this blank. But when I look on my consents page, I've filled in 3 consents that I want my clients to fill out. So you can remove consents as needed, or you can add them in and you can customize them. All right, one last thing I want to show you is where we can see that on our clients page. So I'm just going to go to my clients at the top here, and I'm going to search. You can always do this from your schedule as well. Once you've pulled up their profile, you're just going to head to chart underneath their name. And here I can see a general intake form has been filled out by this patient, and it shows that there's a lock button beside her name, meaning that it's been completed. So before they come in, you're able to review this information for yourself, and you can also review it with them once they come in. All right, that's it for me for that, but back to you, Jeanine.
Yeah, I love the way that Michelle explains things. It makes so much sense. You have such a calm voice, and I really get everything. Every time you explain something, I get something new out of it. I really appreciate having you at the other end of the phone if I call with a question. One of the things I was going to just say about having those templates is that when you have them in the forms, they can go out either by you pushing them out or by you having them go out when they book an appointment. And then automatically, whether it's a consent, whether it's a survey, whether it's an intake form, or even post-care sheets, they go back into the chart. And that really helps us. It's in their chart saying that they did receive this information. And that is wonderful for us from a legal point of view. I think we've covered everything on that. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the scheduling, which a lot of us have, when we dump in, we're into Jane and we get in there, we can see it really clearly that scheduling is going to be helpful to us. But how to build it? So number 1 is building that clinic. Number 2 is to build out your staff within that. And number 3 is to build out those shifts. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So creating this content is really about the planning and the build. And so loading that staff in, their profiles in each clinic, making sure that you assign the staff their functional access, because their permissions, whether they can see charts, whether they can see billing, all of that has to be loaded in on their profile when you put them in. Setting staff parameters is so helpful for us, because some people like to have more control over their bookings, so they don't actually want to be online booking, and you can set that within that content for their parameters and in their profile. Building treatments online and the options that you have to build out for each staff. And then that final piece, which is really nice, is having that URL for that particular staff's booking to go into, say, their website or the website under their team name, and be able to go right into their schedule and be able to book with that particular staff person. And Michelle's going to show you how to do this.
All right, so jumping back into our demo clinic, I'm going to head to our staff profile to show you how we can manage those online booking features that Jeanine is speaking about. And I'll take you through how easy it is that Jane makes it for you, or your admin or the practitioner themselves, to create and manage their shifts to their specific preferences. So again, at the top left-hand corner here, I'm just choosing staff. And for this example, I'm going to use Paige Smith. So I'm going to click on her name on the left. And then we're going to head to edit settings just under her name. So I'll click that blue hyperlink. From here, I'm going to choose online booking. All right, so there's a number of different features that can be changed on this page, but I really just want to point out cluster online booking and make me look busy. So for cluster online booking, just in the middle here, you have two options. You can display all your availability, or you can display availability adjacent to a booking that's already on your schedule. So say, for instance, someone has maybe booked in the middle of your shift and there's no other bookings that day. For the online booking site, if you have this turned on, Jane's only going to show bookings that are adjacent to the one that's already there. So it's a really great way to eliminate any gaps in your schedule. The other option that you can always choose is make me look busy. So right now we have this set to display all available times, but you can always change this to maybe you only want to show 5 bookings for the week or 10. So that's a really great way to minimize the number of bookings if you want to look a bit busier. Once you're done choosing your preferences on this page, just feel free to save down at the bottom there. All right, so let's head into creating shifts for Paige. I'm just going to head to schedule in the top left-hand corner. And I'm going to choose Paige Smith on the left-hand side here again. So right now, Paige has no shift set up. All we see is a blank canvas. On the right-hand side of our screen, we have our shifts button, and then we have the little drop-down arrow beside that. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to choose to manage shifts. So let's say Paige wants to work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Underneath Monday, I'm going to go ahead and add my times. So she's working 9 to 5. In the box next to the time, we have some options here. So if you need to select a room, you can choose that from the drop-down menu, and then you can set your booking options. So you can change that to contact us to book or just fully bookable online. So I want her shifts to be bookable. Once I've done that, right above the X, I can copy her shifts. So I'm going to copy those shifts to Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then I'm going to copy. Now that I have those in there, maybe she doesn't want to work 9 to 5 on Friday. Maybe she wants a shorter day. So we're just going to shorten that up for her. She's just going to work 10 to 2. And she's also decided that she wants to be called to book that day. So we're just going to click on our icons box again, and we're going to set that to contact to book. Lastly, we want to make sure we're changing the dates in the top right-hand corner of this screen, because it's always just going to default to 1 week. So from here, I want to go all the way to the end of the year. And now I see that my date has now changed. Once that's done, I'm going to apply shift schedule. It shows me I'm creating 135 shifts for her, so I'm going to accept that. And now her shifts are made till the end of the year. One last thing to show you is how we can get that URL for her booking page. So if we head to settings in the top left-hand corner, I'm going to choose branding on the right-hand or the left-hand side here, just at the top. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, and under select location or a staff member, I'm going to choose page. So the boxes below have now changed to specific coding for her. So you can either grab the code or you can grab her URL. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that, but that's it for me. Take it back, Jeanine.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Paige is my kind of gal. She's taken Friday afternoon off.
Yeah, me too, me too.
Okay, next slide. Okay, so the next workflow that we're going to talk about is billing. And so billing is a really big part. It's also something that we can create either as in totality, where we actually charge the patient and use Square to remunerate, but you could also do it as a shadow billing. And so the first thing you're going to do to build the content and plan this out is take that list of all the treatments and products that you have and all of the prices for each product and each option that you may have, and build that into the billing. It's like a little database. It makes it so easy because then you bring up the patient, you go into their billing, and then you just add it in and it pops right up. Enter in any inventory that you'd like to have and any cost variances. So whether you do Botox $10 a unit and then have another one, Botox $8 a unit, you can have those variances already embedded in, and then enter in those payment options. And Michelle's going to show you on the demo how we do this.
All right, so going back into our demo clinic, again, we're just looking at our settings menu. So all the setup can be done from here. You're looking below to under offerings, you'll be setting up treatments and products, but I just want to quickly show you how you can create those different payment methods. So on the left-hand side, I'm scrolling all the way down to the bottom and I'm going to choose payment methods. So we see a couple that have been made, or actually it looks like just one here. So I'm going to do a new payment method, just clicking on the button in the top right-hand corner here. So I'm going to choose my location and then I'm going to pick my name. So I'm just going to call this external terminal. I'm just going to copy that name right into there. Once I've chosen my name, all I have to do is go ahead and create that payment method. Now, when we're using the payment method, I'm just going to go to the schedule and I'm just going to show you a different way to bill for an appointment. So I have a couple of appointments here. For Miss Judge. When I arrive her appointment on the right-hand side, that's going to create my invoice. But for this appointment, we haven't added a cost for it because it is Botox. So this is something that does have to be adjusted. So we can do this in two ways. And I'll show you the first example, which is just changing the invoice amount. So under their billing info section, we see a blue hyperlink. When you click on this, it's interactive, so you can change and make price differences here. So let's say she did 20 units, so we have to charge her $200 for that. And then we can even just put in the details, 20 units. Once we're done, we'll just go ahead and click the Save button. And that will change this appointment to $200. Let me just refresh my screen. Oh, there it changed. All right, so we have $200 for that appointment. Your other option, I'll just go ahead and arrive this appointment, is to use an item to bill. So when I click under my billing info section, I have an add item. And here I can just search for my Botox that I've already gone ahead and set up as a product. So I see Botox unit at $10. But obviously they've had more than just the one unit. So we're going to change that. You can use the plus and minus buttons beside the quantity, or if we click on view, just here, we can change that to our 20 units. Now, when we go back out, that price is changed to 200. Now to take a payment, I'm just going to click on my pay button in the top right-hand corner. Jane's just going to show me that she's owing for 2 different invoices. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. The payment method is defaulted to the last payment method that was made, so we can see she's paying with her Jane Payments Visa or card on file. Sorry, I'm not sure which one it is. But she has a card on file that we can use to pay for, or we can maybe split that up to have her pay with half card. So I'm just going to put 200 here. And then we're going to add in one of our outside of Jane payment methods, like that external terminal that I just set up. Once you're done, you can just click on one of the buttons down at the bottom to record that payment. All right, back to you, Jeanine.
Yeah, it's super easy. And the one thing that I will say is we didn't put tax in because tax is very different across provinces and, you know, Canada to US, et cetera. So just know that you'll have to look at what your taxes are to be added to your services. And then I think that was it. That was the only other thing that I was going to add. So great. So we can move on. And the last workflow that, you know, it may be not where you start, but it is super helpful. And we wanted to touch on a couple of little things that can help you in your planning and your overall business program. So next. So with reporting opportunities, there's a couple of different ways, but this is the first way. This section actually allows you to go full circle with all of the stuff you're putting in. You're able to pull out different things. So from an admin point of view, you can do your data cleaning, things like all of the emails that are invalid. If something comes in and you can look at them and then correct them. Duplicate profile management, which if somebody's come in and created a secondary profile of themselves, it can be very confusing because you'll open up one of them and you're missing one of their appointments. And there's a way to manage this by doing your reports. And then also you can look at repeat top-ups. How many times is somebody coming back, and also then how often they're returning patients, if they're coming back every 3 months. Billing management, cash payments for bank deposits. So this is really helpful, is you can look to see your cash, how much you need to put into the bank. And then outstanding balances that may exist out there, and then also reviewing sales by staff member. And I think, are you going to show this as well?
Yeah, so I'm going to start off with 2 reports in the demo clinic. So again, top left-hand corner, that's where everything can be found that we're going to go and look at, is our reports page. So the first one that I want to show is the potential duplicates. So if if a client has maybe accidentally set up an additional profile, it can make things a little bit complicated when you're trying to book them and you see that they're like showing up as a new patient, or maybe they only had one booking when you know you've seen them maybe like 20 plus times and the billing's all off. It could be that they accidentally created a duplicate profile. So you want to be able to clean that up. So on the left-hand side here, just under the client section, is our potential duplicates report. When I click on that, Jane's going to generate a report of anyone that she sees that maybe has similarities in their profiles. So you can see here, Jane has pulled up Amanda Judge. Her name's the same, but there's not really much information besides that. So it's always good to just kind of try and compare, like maybe contact information or birthdays. But yeah, we'll want to merge this profile because it is the same. So to the right here, we have our merge button. When I click on that, it's going to bring up the 2 different profiles. So you can see the contact information and how many appointments they had. So I know this one looks like it's her main profile, and maybe this one on the right here was just a duplicate that she created. So I'm going to go ahead and choose to make this the primary record just above the one on the left. Once I click on that, I'm just going to confirm one more time, and it's going to merge the 2 profiles together. If you ever merge 2 profiles and maybe it wasn't actually, they just happened to be completely similar people, but it wasn't actually the same person, you can always go to settings in the top left-hand corner, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, and you'll have your merge history. So from here, you can undo a merge. So it's just going to reverse exactly what I just did. It'll separate those profiles. When you're merging the profiles together, though, you're not losing information. You're just joining everything together. All right, and then the next report, so heading back to reports in the top left here, is the unscheduled clients last visit list. So this is a really great report to look at to see if maybe someone had come in maybe last month, but you haven't seen them since, and you want to just send them a reminder to let them know that for their treatment plan, it would be great to see them again. So you can filter in the top. So I want to do 1 month since last visit. And I'm going to change the state to the last visit did happen, so I know that I'd seen them. So from here, maybe I'll choose Anita Cole. When I click on her name, I get a panel that pops up on the right where I can add a reminder. So if I want to see her next week, I can choose that option, and then I'll pick the treatment that she needs and the location. I can always send a custom message with this as well. I think we were talking about this yesterday, Jeanine. What was it again?
Or just if you wanted to say something specific, because as licensed professionals, we're really not allowed to solicit our patients. However, if it's part of a treatment plan, we can certainly ask them to come back. Like we always like to see our patients at 2 weeks for follow-up. So I would say as part of your treatment plan, our 2-week follow-up is due, please make your appointment. Then you're qualifying it and saying it is part of the treatment plan.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. So you can add that in at the bottom here. Once you're done, you can click on send now, and that's going to send them that email about that reminder. All right. And I think we just had a little bit more to discuss on reports, Jeanine.
Just one more little piece, and this is sort of that where you sit back, you've got all your data in there and you want to know what can it help you with. Well, it can help you with some short and long-term planning for your business. So things like looking at your cash and credit reports. How much are you using the credit portion of, say, your Jane or your POS, your point of sale, or as you call it, the external device. So yeah, absolutely. You want to look at how much is coming in through cash, how much is coming in through other means. Product performance. So some of the things either monthly or by staff, you can break it all down, and that will really help you to plan things out. If you have one staff member that maybe isn't performing the way that you would like them to, you can help them and devise plans. But if you don't know, and if you haven't looked at your reports, and then the final thing is inventory reporting for business planning. So things like product purchase planning, things like looking at what's our trajectory for next year, what is our metrics to plan for the following year, that profit and loss and assets remaining on the shelf. It's always good to know what should be there and is there. So I think you're going to go through a little bit of that.
Yes. So back to our reports page, I'm just going to head first to our cash reconciliation report. So if I scroll down to the billing section, I'm going to find cash reconciliation. So there's a lot here. It's just in the middle of my page right now. When we click here, we can filter our date range. So let's say I'm looking at the month of June. Once that's filtered, I can grab my cash amount right at the top here. So it's showing me that I'm taking 3,200, just over 3,200 to the bank. So you can filter that as needed. Also, you can find this in your transactions report. So just a few lines above on the left, the date stays filtered, and I should see my cash is the same as my cash reconciliation report. So again, just over 3,200. All right, and a couple other reports I just want to end off with are the product performance report. So that's down at the bottom here. So this is a really great report to see the number of appointments that were completed by the business as a whole, or maybe you want to filter it down to a specific staff member. Also, you can see products that have been sold over a specific date range as well. So as you can see here, it's showing me the exact number of sales and then the revenue that it's bringing in. Lastly is the inventory report. So this is the report that you would want to use when you are looking at what needs to be reordered. So you can see everything that you have, your quantities. You can set your reorder quantities if needed. But anything that's in the red, that's, yeah, we'll want to be getting that reordered, or if it's showing up 0 or less than 10, maybe, depending on how you want to, yeah, when you want to order things. But yeah, there's really great information about all of these reports here on our Jane Guide pages. So I definitely really recommend checking them out. But that is it for me in the demo clinic. Anything else from you, Jeanine?
No, I was just going to say about that. I don't have to be on site at the clinic to do inventory. So I can actually look at what's been happening, say over a week, that if I've not been there, and I can see what's been purchased or not purchased in that area. So that is always something that I need to know ahead of time, and then I can transfer stuff over there. So I love it. I love the way that it's set up, and I love how easy it is to use Jane. I know I'm toting it, but I've worked on many different databases, and this is the first one that I found to be completely comprehensive. That being said, I struggled when I first started learning. I would have to learn things and want to have questions, and how can I do this and how can I do that? And the support team at Jane is your #1 connection. They will always pass it off to somebody that can give you a call and make sure that you are fully informed. You get to completely go through everything with them. And as I said, Michelle, you have a voice that just calms everybody right down and makes everything sound like, yep, we can do this. And it's wonderful. And I really thank you for being at the end of the phone.
You're
And
so
that's it.
welcome. You all can do this. I believe in all of you. And yes, exactly what Jeanine said. We are fully here to support you.